What's up everybody, Anime X here, and today I'll be doing another versus battle on Broly versus Jiren. And this was inspired by my recent watching of the new Dragonball Super Broly movie, and a lot of comparisons of these two characters, saying that one is stronger than the other and vice versa. And I just wanted to get my take on this out there. As always, I'll be linking my social media in the description below, where I'll be releasing information about the channel and things of that sort. And since I'm talking about a fairly new movie, there will be slight spoilers in the video, although I'm sure most people who are interested in this type of stuff have seen it already. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing in this video that I have to address is the fact that Jiren is stronger than anyone else in the Dragon Ball Super anime, including Merge Zamasu, the one that merged himself with space and time, and that was affecting separate universes and timelines in a possible 4D feat. And a heavily suppressed Jiren was stated to be way more impressive by the Supreme Kai, and to refute the argument that impressive does not necessarily translate to strong, Supreme Kai clearly states right after that Jiren is strong, plain and simple, disproving any arguments against him being the strongest antagonist up until that point. Now, I could see if this statement didn't quite convince you of my claim in being 4D, because we all know that feats are more important than statements. If it's possible, you want to use feats to back it up. And there are a couple of feats that prove that Jiren is 4D in attack potency and speed. The first one being something that both him and Ultra Instinct Omen Goku pulled off, was shaking the world of Void, and he used, which was stated to be infinite in size. Now, something that I've heard every time this argument has been brought up is that an infinite realm of nothing is just nothing, so he wouldn't really be shaking anything, and that wouldn't be a valid feat, which is true. Now, all this means is that Jiren filled this infinite realm with his power and used that energy to shake that realm, which would make him infinitely 3D in terms of range and power, and therefore a low 4D feat. And another 4D feat from him would be when Hit tries to fight Jiren and pulls out his trump card, which he uses to bind him in a cage of time. And Jiren just starts moving right out of it and straight up breaks out of the cage, showing that he can transcend time and space, being another 4D feat, bare minimum. The argument could even be made that Jiren is infinitely fast and has infinite speed because he isn't affected by time. Now, this means that he's just infinitely fast to a 3D being, like us humans. But if you don't understand dimensional tiering, and enough of you guys ask about it, I may decide to do a video on that subject, just because it may get a little confusing to those of you that aren't informed on this. But I think I've talked enough about Jiren. Now it's time to move on to scaling Broly's power. Okay, so if you've seen the Broly movie, it's shown that Broly at full power is capable of pushing both Goku and Vegeta in their Super Saiyan Blue form after the Tournament of Power, and forcing them to fuse. These are Super Saiyan Blues that are much more powerful than the ones that showed up in the beginning of the Tournament of Power, through many Zenkais and power boosts that they got fighting throughout that tournament. And Broly pushes them to the point where they have to fuse, as I stated before. And even when they go into and he even forces Gogeta to go into a Super Saiyan Blue form. And while Broly wasn't exactly Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta's equal in terms of power, he did force him to that state to begin with, and is stated by Goku to be possibly stronger than Beerus, a fairly strong god of destruction, which is no statement to just overlook and is impressive in and of itself. I know this segment is going to be pretty short compared to the Jiren segment, but power scaling Broly is pretty straightforward and simple due to the limited time that they had to explore Broly's powers, abilities, power scaling, stuff like that. So his narrative time that he had was a lot shorter compared to Jiren, so that's why this segment will seem a lot shorter in comparison. So after talking about both of the contestants, I think it is time to move on to how I see this fight going. Now, this fight can end up being a pretty clear-cut match if you take statements into account and look extremely closely and analytically at the things said by the characters giving exposition. For example, it is stated by Goku that Broly could arguably be able to beat Beerus, which, like I said, isn't anything to laugh at since Beerus is a fairly strong god of destruction. But Jiren, in multiple occasions, is shown and said to be stronger than a god of destruction. This is supported by many feats, one of them being when Goku makes a Spirit Bomb with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20, and Belmod states that he was worried that Jiren would not be able to block it. And previously he states that no one can stop Jiren. He probably makes this statement because Jiren surpasses him in power, and therefore he doesn't think that another mortal would be anywhere close to another god of destruction. And therefore the Spirit Bomb that Goku launched might have matched or even surpassed Belmod in terms of power, and Jiren just glares this away in his suppressed state. Then Goku gets Ultra Instinct, which surpasses his Spirit Bomb by a large amount because he's able to land a hit and clearly injure a suppressed Jiren, whereas before the Spirit Bomb was able to be glared away. Even though Jiren was suppressed, through many beatdowns and power-ups, Goku fights Jiren once again towards the end of the Tournament of Power, where he gains Mastered Ultra Instinct, which even the Gods of Destruction haven't fully obtained. And while Jiren isn't his equal, he is relative to him in terms of power, putting him definitely above a God of Destruction, compared to Broly, who is vaguely or slightly more powerful than a God of Destruction. Also, Broly hasn't shown or has been stated to surpass time or be infinitely strong, whereas Jiren has shown feats like that. Like I said, with the merged Zamasu, where he merged with the universe, or Jiren being able to escape out of a cage of time. Broly just hasn't shown anything on that 4D level, and I can see Broly losing to Jiren based on the facts that I presented in this video. Alright guys, so if you follow me on social media, you'll be alerted to any schedule changes or any news pertaining to the channel, which, may be getting pretty interesting soon because I may move up to a 2 video per week type schedule. But, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're alerted to all my videos. And as always, this is Anime X, signing off.